One of the big issues that we're interested in is energy and the environment.
Sure.
And I know you're playing a role in that.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit with us and what they can do out in the grassroots to be helpful?
It's a big challenge we face today. You know, I serve on the Energy and Commerce Committee, so it's something that our committee deals with on a regular basis. And, you know, I come from a state like New Jersey where we have a heightened sensitivity to protecting the environment and to conservation. But when you see families today and businesses who, you know, people who are either put out of work or schools that are talking about going to 4 days a week rather than 5 days a week to save on transportation costs, you know what a huge impact the cost of energy is having just in our daily life here at home in America. But I also believe that our energy challenges are broader than that, because what we face now is a situation where so much of our energy is dependent on foreign countries, not on American sources of energy, but on foreign sources of energy. And that really compromises our relationships around the world. For instance, I've done a lot of work. I guess I've been a real critic of Saudi Arabia. We get an enormous amount of oil from Saudi Arabia, and I believe that that has compromised some of our ability to be tougher on Saudi Arabia than we have been. So, you know, the challenge of energy is, I think, finding more sources of energy, diversifying our portfolio of energy that we use today. Our economy is so heavily dependent on oil and gas and fossil fuels. They will always be a part of the mix. You know, certainly for the foreseeable future, they will be a part of the mix. I think we have to find ways of making them a smaller part of the mix. I've been a big proponent of solar energy, for instance. You know, it's a renewable energy, it's completely clean, it's emissions-free, and it's there every day. So I think if we can further diversify the ways that we power our economy. For instance, I was in Brazil earlier this year, of all places. They get 80% of their electricity in Brazil from hydropower, from the water. I think if we can do a better job of diversifying how we power our economy, where we get our energy, if we can do a better job of finding American sources of energy and spend less time and have less of our dependence on foreign sources of energy, I think our economy will be better off, I think our environment will be better off, and I frankly think our relationships and the leverage that we want around the world in terms of other important issues like terrorism will be in a stronger position. You know, in terms of the election year, you know, we're going to have a new president come January. We're going to have a Congress, you know, whether it's still controlled by Democrats or perhaps controlled by Republicans, that's frankly less and less likely, the pundits tell us, you know, we're going to have a whole new set of challenges to take on next year. So I think there's not a lot of energy being put into trying to pass legislation this year, but rather Congress is in kind of a holding pattern right now. You know, I have to tell you, Hadassah is a remarkable organization, and I'm not simply telling you, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but my wife and I were in Israel just a few weeks ago and had an opportunity to visit Hadassah Hospital and visit with the remarkable healthcare professionals and, you know, doctors and nurses and folks who have made that such an extraordinary place, not just in Israel, but really for the whole world to learn from. And to see the way the hospital has grown into such success, and to see that people in America being such a huge part of that success.
We own it.
Exactly. I mean, that's an incredible model